Born up in Wilmington, Delaware, strangest state in the land of the fair. Went to Georgetown and then to Yale, loved him some Coke and Marlboro Reds as well. Hunter Biden, king of the elite frontier. Worked for a bank that donated to Dad. A little nepotism ain't half bad. Went to the Navy but got kicked out. The old booger sugar couldn't do without. Hunter Biden, king of the Coke frontier. Got a divorce, tried to drown his woe. Dated the wife of his brother Beau. Had a little fling in Arkansas. Denied it, but the DNA proved he's the paw. Hunter Biden, king of baby daddy frontier. Lobbied like a mofo and used his name to be hired by Burisma in Ukraine. Daddy came in to do a quid pro quo, to fire the prosecutor or there'd be no dough. Hunter Biden, Daddy saved him from some tears. When he come home, his politicking was done. Bought him some crack from some homeless bums. Doesn't seem to know if it was his laptop, with photos with hookers in a Delaware shop. Hunter Biden, king of the crack frontier. Good old Hunter Biden, the American dream and a crack pipe. Needed Dad to run to save his reputation, since his life had been one permanent vacation. Hunter Biden, king of the corrupt frontier. Hunter Biden, king of the corrupt frontier.
Welcome to the Beau Show. I'm guessing you know what today's subject is: the mysterious case of Hunter Biden, the troubled son of President Joe Biden. When I was thinking about how to satirize his life through song parody, there was so much great material to choose from. It almost writes itself. And I thought about the old folk song, Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. Now, of course, Crockett was an American folk hero, a frontiersman, soldier, and politician. Hunter Biden was really none of those. But Hunter Biden's life is a bit of a folk song, an elegy in corruption. Crockett and Biden both, however, share tales of mythical proportions. One worthy of emulation and the other, well, not so much. I tried my best to tell his story in song, but of course, there's so much more than a song can tell. The only sympathy I have for him is that his mother and sister were killed in a car crash when he was about 2, and his brother Beau died of a brain tumor. Respect to those family members, as I lost my father in a car accident last year. So I will not touch those unfortunate elements of his life. Those are off limits. But I do believe we can be judged by what we do with our lives, especially in times of tragedy. That's what I want to focus on. And any time you get into politics, there is some dirty, dirty stuff that usually follows. I mentioned the elitism because he went to Archmere Academy in Delaware and on to Georgetown and Yale. That is certainly elite. He was a Jesuit volunteer after college, but that will seem almost laughable when the rest of his story unfolds. He married his first wife in 1993, and in 96 he took what seems to be his first job at MBNA Bank, a company that donated heavily to his father's campaigns. So that was really the first sign of nepotism. Not shockingly, he quickly was elevated to an executive vice president. Must be nice. After a brief stint in the Clinton administration, he started a lobbying job, co-founding Oldacre, Biden, and Bel Air. According to Adam Intus of The New Yorker, Biden and his father established a relationship in which, quote, Biden wouldn't ask Hunter about his lobbying clients, and Hunter wouldn't tell his father about them. I am sure that was true. Just like I'm sure the New Yorker asked them to prove this statement, right? Well, Biden was appointed to the board of Amtrak by George Bush in 2016. And Hunter was the board's vice chairman from July 2006 until 2009. He resigned in January 2009, shortly after his father became vice president. Biden said during his father's vice presidential campaign that it was time for his lobbying activities to end. Once again. Right. I'm absolutely sure the lobbying stopped. In 2006, Biden and his uncle James Biden purchased international hedge fund Paradigm Global Advisors. Hunter was interim CEO of the fund for 5 years. In September 2008, Biden launched a consultancy company called Seneca Global Advisors that offered to help companies expand into foreign markets. Now remember, Hunter Biden has a degree in history and a law degree. Nothing about his experience heretofore indicates he's good at banking or investments. But he is good at getting jobs that his family helps him get. In 2013, Hunter flew aboard Air Force Two with Papa Joe to China to meet with investment banker Jonathan Lee, executive of equity fund BHR Partners. 12 days later, Chinese authorities approved the equity firm. From 2013 to 2020, Biden served as a member of the board of this China-based BHR Partners, of which he acquired a 10% stake in 2017 at a discount. One of the asset managers is the Bank of China. So Biden is now on a board for a Chinese-controlled company that invests in mining precious metals, or to put it in layman's terms, things that the Chinese sell to us in bad trade deals. So Biden is actively helping the Chinese win the trade war against the United States. What a clown. Now remember, Papa Joe is vice president from 2008 to 2016, all during this time. In December of 2020, Biden made a public announcement that his tax affairs were under federal criminal investigation. The New York Times and CNN described the investigation as having started in about late 2018 and being related to potential violations of tax and money laundering laws and his business dealings in foreign countries, principally China. The Journal reported that Biden had provided legal and consulting services that generated foreign earned income, citing Senate Republicans' report that says millions of dollars in wire transfers from entities linked to Chinese energy tycoon Ye Jianming were paying for such services. President Donald Trump accused Hunter Biden of getting a $1.5 billion fund and making millions of dollars off the BHR deal. Biden's lawyer George Masiris told the Washington Post that BHR Partners had been, quote, capitalized from various sources with a total of 30 million Chinese RMB, or about 4.2 million, not 1.5 billion. That would qualify as making millions, I think. So Biden resigns from this post at BHR in 2019, apparently because of false charges by Donald Trump, which actually seem to be true. Why would Hunter Biden resign if there's nothing wrong about the millions he's made from China? And isn't it a great coincidence that Biden resigned shortly after his father had just announced his candidacy for president? Meanwhile, in 2014, Hunter Biden joined the board of Burisma Holdings, owned by a Ukrainian oligarch named Mykola Zlochevsky, who was facing a tax fraud and money laundering investigation just after the Ukrainian Revolution. Biden received up to $50,000 per month for this gig, even though John Kerry's stepson, Christopher Hines, a partner, had opposed Biden joining the Burisma board due to reputational risk. Then again, Hunter Biden has not exactly been too worried about his reputation. While Papa Joe was trying to do diplomacy in Ukraine as VP, Obama's own officials raised the red flags about this major conflict of interest. Ukrainian prosecutor Viktor Shokin was investigating Burisma. So Joe Biden as VP puts pressure on Ukraine to fire Shokin, and they do. This just seems shady and convenient. And furthermore, what the hell does Hunter Biden know about Ukrainian oil and gas? We know that Burisma's owner was under investigation for money laundering. So doesn't it make sense that the prosecutor would be looking into this? But Hunter was making $50K a month with this company. Let's just say Hunter Biden did nothing wrong. For a second, why was he on the board of this company of such ill repute? Due to his extensive knowledge of oil and gas, or was it to curry favor, possibly with his vice president father? In May of 2020, Ukrainian lawmaker Andriy Derkach released snippets of a call recording between then VP Joe Biden and then Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko, in which Biden guaranteed U.S. loans to Ukraine if they got rid of the prosecutor, Shokin, the same guy who was investigating Burisma. That's the quid pro quo. There's a ton of corruption in Ukraine, and one prosecutor's conduct cannot be of that much interest in the grand scheme of things. But it was to Joe Biden, and it certainly was to Hunter Biden. Poroshenko himself is corrupt, but Biden didn't seem to take issue with that at all. The New York Post reported an email from April 2015 in which an advisor to Burisma, Vadim Pozharsky, apparently thanked Hunter Biden for inviting him to meet his father in Washington. Joe Biden did not deny that such an interaction could have taken place. Burisma was corrupt as it gets, and Hunter Biden was getting $50K a month to sit on their board. Now, I want to take a step back, because if you look at how the media reports all of this, for one thing, they were slack to report on any of what I have mentioned thus far. In some cases, ignoring stories altogether. And if you go to Wikipedia, Hunter Biden's Wikipedia page, for instance, you will see the words unsubstantiated, Donald Trump conspiracy theory, and unverified and without evidence everywhere, as if Hunter Biden himself had written his own page. I've never seen such a defense of a person with such blatant bias. You hear the same played out tune from Joe Biden himself. He says things like, there's been no proof of that. That's a smear campaign. So all Joe is saying is, well, there's no proof. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. There have been many reports of Hunter Biden accepting donations from, let's just say, many foreign sources. And we know that he was on the board of Chinese and Ukrainian companies. Was getting money from a normal job in the States not good enough? At age 43, Biden decided to join the Navy, which is kind of mysterious too. He even got in on a waiver due to his past drug offenses. But as I mentioned in the song, the booger sugar was tough to quit, and he was discharged for testing positive for cocaine. Hunter Biden began dating his brother Beau's wife, Hallie, after his death, which is highly perplexing. I know grief is bad and you lean on people, but I don't know if dating your fallen brother's widow is the way to go. He also fathered a kid in Arkansas, and this happened while he was dating his brother's widow. That was classy. 2017 was also an interesting year for Hunter. The New York Post cited a purported email from Hunter Biden in August of 2017 indicating he was receiving a $10 million annual fee from a Chinese billionaire for introductions alone. Another purported email, which Fox News confirmed, reportedly refers to a deal pursued by Hunter involving China's largest private energy firm. It is said to include a cryptic mention of, quote, 10 held by H for the big guy. The big guy in the purported email was a reference to Joe Biden. A former business associate of Hunter Biden, Tony Bobulinski, has come forward to say he can confirm those allegations. Regardless of whether any of these activities are criminal or illegal, and they may not be, they are certainly problematic and conflicted. His personal struggles are very real. He admitted to the New Yorker that he bought crack from homeless people. The Daily Mail was able to access thousands and thousands of photos and videos and texts showing Hunter's wild escapades and a desire to urge his dad to run for president so that he could find some redemption. Hunter allegedly left his laptop at a Delaware repair shop in 2019, yet he says it's possible a laptop was stolen from him. He even blames Russian intelligence. Nice try, dude. We only have been able to scratch the surface because so much of Hunter's life has been protected or cleaned up by his politician father. This is why evidence is hard to come by. Well, until this laptop was found and the Daily Mail gave us some insight. It is very clear that Hunter has made a fortune from nepotism and using his dad's clout, and obvious conflicts of interest. Whether there is criminality remains to be seen, other than the, obvious crack problem. This is again why I come back to being viewed by the decisions we make, the mistakes we make, not from the bad hand dealt to us. I would not want to take money from China or Ukraine, especially given the politics at that time. But Hunter did. And he even resigned certain positions when being viewed under the microscope. In 2021, Biden released a memoir called Beautiful Things, which is highly ironic, as I wonder what he considers beautiful. Crack? Hookers? Foreign lobbying money? So what is Hunter Biden doing today? Well, I don't know, other than renting a big mansion in Venice, California, where Secret Service protects him from the homeless problem in that area. I am all for redemption, but he's relying on Daddy and not on himself. I'm Beau, and that's the show.